Obviously, it's a tough loss. Congratulate Sam Houston. I thought they played great. They play like that, make shots. They'll play in the championship, and to be honest, they make shots like that, they can beat either Stephen F. or Northwestern. Their guards were terrific tonight, and that was the bottom line. They made shots, and we didn't. I give them a lot of credit. They had a lot to do with us not making some shots, and it was a physical game, and to be honest, Sean, it's not his type of game. He doesn't like physical contact, and if they're going to let both teams play like they did and not call a ton of fouls, it certainly doesn't favor us. And 2 weeks ago or 12 days ago, we shot we shot a ton of free throws and made a ton of free throws, and tonight we only get to the line 14 times, and that's just the way the officials called it, and you got to adjust, and we didn't do a good job of that tonight.
Matt Doyle, Tulsa World. Corey and Brandon, how tough was it out there to kind of get an offensive rhythm and flow going when you weren't getting good looks at the bucket or able to get inside on a frequent basis?
It was tough. We wasn't doing what Coach asked us to do. I mean, it's harder when you don't do what you draw up or when you don't get the ball where you need to get the ball to. That make it even harder. And then everybody trying to go one-on-one when the play breaks down, shooting a tough jump shot or just getting out of character, I felt like.
It's really hard to play team basketball when everybody's not locked in. And it's hard to run a play that coach drew up, like Corey just said, whenever nobody's locked in and everybody's trying to do their own thing. And since it's so physical out there, like I remember I'm going in for an offensive rebound and I have my hand getting grabbed when I'm trying to go up, and it was just a very physical game out there, and it's just tough to get on the upper hand of that whenever nobody's locked in.
Scott, did you anticipate their three-point firepower, and how big of a factor was that going into halftime, the way they were knocking them down?
Well, I guess they made 6 out of the first 7, and I thought the shot right before halftime was huge. There was 3. I thought 3 shots the first half were huge. Kid banks one in, shot clock running down. DJ reaches in and fouls a guy, and he makes a shot. And then the one at the end of the half, it goes from 4 to 7, and just kind of deflates us, and they go in with all the momentum, and then. The second half, I thought when they made their run, they hit two more threes. And we tried to go zone just to maybe get them out of rhythm a little bit. Sometimes, as crazy as that sounds, it helps. Even when a team is shooting well from three-point range, and, obviously it didn't affect them, and they jumped up and made a couple more. But, I knew their guards were really good. They make about 7 a game. They have 3 they have 5 guys that shoot it pretty well. But those 3 guys that start, all of them are very capable shooters. I think right around 38, 39, 40%. That's excellent. And, I didn't envision, a team coming in here the first night being able to shoot the ball as well as they did. And, again, you got to give them a lot of credit.
Well, I guess Corey, Brandon Scott from the Huntsville Item, in the beginning of the second half, you guys, Sam Houston went the first, I want to say 4 or 5 minutes without a field goal. They were staying in it with free throws. So even after that shot before halftime, it still seemed like you guys had a chance to rally, and even in the second half. But kind of what you and Brandon were saying a minute ago, what was that moment where it seemed to sort of deflate for you guys, where, you went from however your normal mindset is coming into a game to kind of feeling like everybody was going on their own individual thing?
I felt like it was at the beginning of the game, actually, when everybody was trying to do their own thing. We wasn't getting the ball reversed. We wasn't getting the inside to Brandon, and Sean wasn't posting up. Sean was trying to play on the perimeter. It was a bad game, to be honest.
I'd like to say leadership. Whenever you have a leader on the team, and I wouldn't say that he's a leader, but he is our oldest player. And if I see him with his head down, that kind of rubs off on everybody else. And so everybody else is thinking down, and that just puts everybody else into a bad mood. And it's just hard to overcome that whenever you see your main person with his head down. And it kind of just makes you be like, well, what are we out here for if he already has his head down? We're out here fighting for his season, and he has his head down, and, I mean, it's just – and then, like, he'll get his head down, I get my head down, and then it's just nobody's focused already on that, and it's just tough.
Scott, do you know if you all are going to try to get into the CBI or CIT?
You know, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if, to be honest, we deserve it. We certainly, if they ask, I'm sure we'll play. I don't think you ever turn down postseason play, but, you know, there's probably some teams that, certainly some teams in this league are more deserving than us, but it just depends on how many get in the postseason.
For Corey and Brandon, then, if this is the end of this season, how do you care to summarize it?
We didn't reach our potential. We didn't. There's a lot you can say about that. We didn't do a lot. We didn't make plays. We didn't get stops. It was just a repeat every single week of us not doing what our coaches tell us to do, doing what we just got beat on. We didn't fix that, and then the next week we didn't fix it again, and the next week we didn't fix it again. So, I mean, it's just a repeat. Every single week, it seemed like for me, we getting told the same thing by our coaches about what we're not doing, and it seemed like we never got it right.
We set goals in the beginning of the season, and I feel like we didn't reach most of them, and that's about it.
Coach Sutton, last night after the win against McNeese, you seemed a little worried about the way you guys played, even though you came out with the win. Is there anything from any kind of carryover from that, or was there?
No, I mean, I think that's what is so impressive about how Sam Houston State played. And to be honest, probably how – I didn't watch the game, but how Northwestern State played. Because I think the first game of the tournament's always tough. I think you got a lot of nerves, unfamiliar with the arena. Although a lot of their players beat us here last year, but their two leading scorers didn't. This is the first time they played in this building, so I thought we got the nerves out of our system and we would play much looser and play better than we did last night. And I was hoping they'd have one of those nights where maybe they were. Not shooting the ball well because it's the first game out, but it was, it was a total opposite. And again, you give them a lot of credit. They made shots. They had a lot to do with us not making shots, and that was the game.
Any other questions? All right, thanks, gentlemen.